The last passenger. It was almost midnight when Lena Walker, a 22-year-old college student, stepped onto the last bus leaving the city. The streets were empty, fog curled around the streetlights, and the sound of her boots echoed on the wet pavement. She had stayed late at her university library finishing an assignment, and now all she wanted was to get home. When Lena boarded the bus, she noticed something strange. Only one other passenger sat inside, a man wearing a dark coat and a cap pulled low over his face. The driver gave her a silent nod, his tired eyes reflected in the rearview mirror. The bus smelled faintly of gasoline and rain. Lena sat halfway down, clutching her bag close. The bus rolled through the sleeping city. Neon signs flickered outside, but inside, everything was silent except the low rumble of the engine. Lena took out her phone, but there was no signal. She frowned. This route usually had strong reception. The man in the coat hadn't moved an inch. After 20 minutes, Lena noticed they had taken a different turn. The road looked unfamiliar, narrow, with tall trees on both sides. She leaned forward and called out to the driver, "Excuse me, isn't this the wrong way?" The driver didn't answer. The man in the back slowly turned his head toward her, but his face was hidden in the shadows. Fear tightened her chest. She looked out the window. No houses, no lights, only darkness. She stood up, walked slowly toward the driver, and asked again. This time, the driver said quietly, "Sit down, miss. The road ahead is closed." But his hands were shaking on the steering wheel. The man in the back seat stood up. His boots thudded on the metal floor as he began walking toward Lena. Her pulse raced. "Stay back," she shouted, pulling her bag close like a shield. The driver looked at her through the mirror, his eyes wide with something that looked like guilt. The man smiled faintly. "You shouldn't have taken this bus," he said. His voice was calm, too calm. Lena's heart pounded as she backed away. She saw a small knife glinting in his hand under the flickering bus light. She turned to the driver. "Stop the bus." The driver whispered, "I can't, he told me not to." Lena ran to the back door, pulling the emergency handle. It jammed. The man lunged at her, but she swung her bag, hitting his arm. The knife dropped, clattering on the floor. She kicked it away and pushed the man back. The bus swerved as the driver panicked, and they both fell. In the chaos, Lena scrambled up, grabbed the knife, and shouted, "Stop the bus now, or I'll—" The driver slammed the brakes. The bus screeched to a halt near a dark forest. Lena jumped out, running into the trees. Behind her, she heard the man shouting, but his voice faded into the night. When dawn broke, Lena finally reached the main road and waved down a police car. She told them everything: the bus, the man, the driver. The officers looked at each other, pale. "There hasn't been a night bus on that route for 5 years, one officer said slowly. That line was shut down after a murder, a girl killed by a passenger, and a driver working together. Lena turned toward the forest. In the distance, she saw a rusted bus, half buried in weeds, its doors open as if waiting for someone else to board.